Okay.
I had reporters in his office at the end of the day. My bill was on the floor for days when Senator Harrell added last-minute amendments to kill my bill, knowing that this is a really good bill and would save so many minorities' lives. They did not care. And so I sent flyers all around the Capitol. I handed them out to these lobbyists who called me a big problem. And she withdrew her amendments. Because sometimes you just can't be silent. But the problem is that our city is just filled with silence, intentional silence, and it is incredibly loud.
Thank you. Yeah.
Senator,
right.
Senator, can I just rebut? I was directly called a liar, so
30 seconds, please.
I really want to. And
Like to
Quick 30-second rhetorical. But understand this, folks. We're not going to personalize this. All these folks are running for mayor. That is a risk.
and that's
That is a risk that everyone is taking. You all, as citizens, have the opportunity to vote for one of these people. But I want to create some accountability for the room, too. The last city election had 12% turnout.
Thank you.
12%. 10% from District 5. Let me say again, 10% from District 5, which is where we are. So please, please, save me on the hooting and hollering if you're not going to actually go out and do the thing, okay? So I just want to make sure that we're just not here. We're not here for clicks. We're not here for follows. We're here for accountability. So I will allow 30
Thank you,
seconds,
Senator. And
but I think it's important
I
that
appreciate
we
that.
tone it down in the room. Go ahead.
Well, that's really what I wanted to say, because, Michael, I respect you. Mr. Hepburn, I respect you very much. And I think we've had good decorum between us. But when you disparage me and my character by calling me a liar, you can say I'm wrong. You can say I don't know what I'm talking about. You could say it's not going to work. But to just call me a liar, I think you know me better than that. Honestly, you and I have been through enough things together that I am not trying to deceive
We're
anyone
not
by
going to be
saying
back and forth, Mr. Hepburn.
that, but
Not
by
gonna be back and
saying
forth.
that smaller districts will serve the community better, we may have a difference of opinion there. But I really do believe it. And if we vote for the redistricting charter amendment that's on the ballot right now, we will have proper redistricting, and that happens, and not favoritism through commissioners. But please, I would never call you a liar. And for 8 years, I never had an ethics complaint, a legal complaint, nothing.
Great time. Thank you.
Thank you.
No, because the problem is it devolves, and we can't do it. This question has to do with all of you. So I hope that you all can answer it in the 60 seconds. All right. The state is looking to get rid of property tax revenue for cities. It's also been parroted by local elected officials around getting rid of property taxes. How will you, as mayor, assure that the city budget can manage its affairs in the general fund with the threat of potential loss of property tax revenue? I would also add that the impact and loss of revenue will impact Miami-Dade County Public Schools. So any adjustments or shifts made at the city level will have a direct impact on the school districts as well. So again, the question is, how will you deal with the potential threat of loss of revenue at the city level if the state moves to get rid of property taxes, starting with Ms. Crump?
I feel like I'm going in circles with these questions because I think the answer is the same as all the others. It's government transparency, accountability, and getting all of the corruption out of City Hall. Vote the corruption out. We have this deficit, but that deficit is there because everybody is lining their pockets. Everybody's got a builder and a backroom deal. Everybody is just, everyone talks about permits. We have these permits, nothing's getting passed through. Sometimes things get passed through, and some things take years. And I mean, who's in office? Who's been in office? Because permits existed then too. And I mean, buildings were built and everybody else was pushed out. And we're dealing with all these things. So you get rid of the corruption. You have that transparency dashboard, like I said, where you see where every dollar goes. You don't have a problem with educational funding if the funds aren't being taken by City Hall and put into people's pockets and into PACs.
Last time. Thank you. Next. Mr. Hepburn.
All right. So we gotta level set. We don't control the governor house. We don't control the state house. We don't control the state senate. almost 50% of my city voted for the president of the United States. Okay, so let's be very real about this. So it's not a lot of policy because of our lack of engagement and voting power in this state and definitely in this city that we can do. So we got to get very creative and we got to lawyer up. We got to get ready to go to war when it comes down to them taking away property taxes in the city, because that's how we fund everything outside of sales tax and, you know, some permit fees and that type of stuff. So I'm gonna digress from that. But I'm gonna go back to Russell's point right fast. Listen, and this ties to this question. If you switch our elections from an off year to a presidential year or governor year, right? Let me give y'all some math. There are 17,800 plus black people that voted last year in November for Kamala or whoever. Well, they voted in the presidential, right? It's only about 21,000 black people in my city registered to vote. There's 500,000 people in this city, only 174,000 registered to vote, okay? You can become mayor because less than 29,000 people vote. If you switch, dang.
It's right. It's on the roll.
So,
You're wrong.
What was the question?
60 seconds is quick.
What was the question? I'm so confused.
I will.
All right. So
Do you need me to repeat the question?
no, it's coming back to me. I go back to how many districts and what year's election, property taxes. Let's get back. So folks, there's a group up in Tallahassee that is looking at whether or not they should get rid of property taxes. And there's certainly merit. I think there's a lot of merit in looking at how are other possible ways to fund local government services. And if they come up with a good solution, we should be willing to consider it, and I would be willing to consider it. But there's an inherent insidiousness in this because they're only talking about getting rid of property taxes for homeowners. But 60+% of the people in our community are renters. And they're not talking about lowering the property taxes for those folks that are the commercial owners, which means the renters will not benefit from that. And that is the bulk of the people that live in this community. Now, in the meantime, all of us, there's going to have to become, I mean, how are we going to fund the police department or the fire department? How is an ambulance going to come and get you? How's the park going to be clean? Right? We're going to have to find revenue, and they're suggesting sales tax. Well, that means young people who rent don't get a property tax, and every single thing they buy goes up. So we should look at it, but we need to be smart about it.
Thank you.
The state government needs to stay out of the city's business. The governor is pandering for votes and giving away what is not his.